Hello, Jordan Burris here. Would you like to hear a song? Today's song is one of the most identifiable songs in the genre of country and western music, written by one of the most influential voices. But before we get to the song, here's a brief bit of history about the song and the songwriter, Lefty Frizzell. William Orville Frizzell was born on March 31st, 1928 in Corsicana, Texas. Following a neighborhood fight as a teenager, he earned the nickname Lefty due to his southpaw or left-hand dominant fighting style. As a boy, he would listen to the records of country folk legend Jimmie Rodgers, and inspired by the singing brakeman, he would begin singing and performing himself, even touring the Southwest as a teenager. In 1945, Frizzell would meet and marry Alice Harper, and the young couple would relocate to Roswell, New Mexico, where he had a steady gig at the Cactus Gardens Dance Hall. In 1947, 19-year-old Lefty Frizzell would be arrested for an affair with an underage female fan. He would be convicted and sentenced to 6 months in the county jail. While in jail and drowning in guilt, Frizzell would write poems to his wife Alice. These poems would become the foundation for some of Frizzell's biggest hits. Following his release from jail, Frizzell and his wife would move back to Texas so that he could work in the oil fields with his father. By 1950, he had also landed a regular performing gig at the Big Springs dance hall, the Ace of Clubs. It was at this club that Jim Beck, owner of a Dallas recording studio, would take notice of Frizzell and offer to record him. Frizzell accepted and recorded a few of his songs, including If You've Got the Money, I've Got the Time. With the recordings in hand, Jim Beck would travel to Nashville, Tennessee, to present the songs to some of country music's brightest stars. Beck felt that If You've Got the Money, I've Got the Time would be the perfect vehicle for little Jimmy Dickens, but Jimmy Dickens declined the song. However, record producer Don Law heard the song and liked it, and upon meeting and seeing Frizzell perform live, he signed him to Columbia Records. When Columbia Records released If You've Got the Money, I've Got the Time in September of 1950, it was an immediate and seismic success. The B-side to If You've Got the Money was the ballad I Love You a Thousand Ways, which was also a hit. It was based on one of the poems that Frizzell had written to his wife Alice while in jail. Over the next 2 years, Frizzell would chart 13 top 10 country songs. At one point, 4 of the top 10 songs on the country charts belonged to Lefty Frizzell. Lefty's songwriting and recording would slow in the mid to late 1950s, but he continued to tour extensively. In 1959, he released the folk ballad Long Black Veil, which was also a top 10 hit. And in 1964, his song Saginaw, Michigan would reach number 1 and be nominated for a Grammy. Eventually, though, Lefty Frizzell's health and habits would take an insurmountable toll on him. His debilitating alcoholism would damage his voice and leave him with chronic hypertension. In 1975, Lefty Frizzell would suffer a massive stroke and pass away. He was 47 years old. Despite his destructive lifestyle, infidelities, and legal battles, Alice Harper never left Lefty's side until his death. In the early 1950s, while touring through Bakersfield, California, Lefty Frizzell would invite an aspiring teenage performer onto stage, hand him his signature 1949 Gibson SJ200 guitar, and invite him to sing a song to the raucous audience. The teenager's name was Merle Haggard. Haggard had this to say of Lefty Frizzell's influence. Quote, "The impact that Lefty had on country music is not even measurable. No one could handle a song like Lefty. We all learned how to sing by listening to him." End quote. The 1949 Gibson SJ200 guitar would spend years on loan to the Country Music Hall of Fame. In 2005, it was returned to the Frizzell estate where it went to auction. Being that it was the first guitar he played in a professional setting, Merle Haggard would buy the guitar at auction for $350,000. It remains in the Haggard estate to this day. I hope you enjoyed that brief bit of history about If You've Got the Money, I've Got the Time, written by the late, the great Jim Beck, as well as the late, the great Lefty Frizzell. If you've got the money, honey, I've got the time. We'll go honky-tonkin' and we'll have a time. We'll make all the night spots, dance and drink beer and wine. If you've got the money, honey, I've got the time. There ain't no need to tarry, let's start out tonight. We'll spread joy, oh boy, and we'll do it right. We'll have more fun, baby, all the way down the line. If you've got the money, honey, I've got the time. If you've got the money, honey, I've got the time. We'll go honky-tonkin', and we'll have a time. We'll make all the night spots, dance and drink beer and wine. You've got the money, honey, I've got the time. Yeah, we'll go honky-tonk and make every club in town. We'll go to the park where it's dark and we won't fool around. If you run short of money, I'll run short of time. If you've got no more money, honey, I've no more time. If you've got the money, honey, I've got the time. We'll go honky-tonkin' and we'll have a time. We'll make all the night spots, dance and drink beer and wine. If you've got the money, honey, I've got the time.